Okay, so I'm making a video real quick because this year is going to be the best year ever, because I literally started this year and I am literally getting warnings about everything. Like, you know, I got pulled over. I thought my license was suspended. They're like, your license not suspended. But it was like, you need to get your stuff in order because I have like all these tickets and stuff like that. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then my sister put this passcode on my phone, so I usually afterpay, but now I can't use like any app, so I can't afterpay. So then I was like, okay. So then I like worked a whole day to pay for a wig, so I'm not afterpaying. Then like my brother was helping me with rent, and he was like, this is it. And then he told me that last month after he helped me, and I was like, okay, well then I have to work hard for January to get rent. And then it's like, at work, you know, they talked to me and was like, hey, you got to get this together, you're gonna get fired. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna, you know, start coming to work on time. So I've been doing it. And then today they were like, you know, last year they were very lenient, but that's not gonna fly. You know, they're like, you know, on top of it, and they pretty much need us to like follow all the rules to the T. And I've literally never had to do that in my life. And so I'm like, okay, well, I gotta start following the rules to the T. And I've always worked at a place and like did my own thing and just stayed under the radar. But it's just like, now I've got to like come and work on time, clock out at the same time. Like, it's a business, so it's very like structured. And it's just like, last year I would have never like, but it's just like this year, everything that happened, it's just like my system, instead of like, you know, being like, oh, like down, it's just like, okay, well, next time I'm gonna change. And it's just crazy, just everything. And it's just like, I always had a credit card my whole life. I always fell back on my credit card. I had like a limit of like $3 or $4 grand, and every time I was late on something or didn't have money, I'd just use a credit card and pay it back later. But I don't have a credit card, so now I have to start working to save up and use like my bank account as a credit card. I need extra money in it. It's just like everything, like this whole month, like just all these warnings I've been getting. Like last year, or if I was in the mindset that I was last year, I would have broken down and like been depressed. But it's just like now all these warnings, I'm just like, okay, I'll do better. And so it's like, I know this is going to be a good year because this is my first time in my life, like not like trying to wait for someone to save me. And like, I've got to save myself. I've got to like change. And it's like, before I didn't have the motivation. I didn't have like, I was in survival mode and like depressed. So it's like when like I was not changing. And it's just like, this year, like I'm actually changing, and I'm doing like all these warnings. What normal people do is they do better, like, but I would take the warning and like not care. Like, if you're gonna fire me, you know. And it's just like, I'm doing it this year, and I'm so excited. And I don't know, I just know for a fact it's gonna be a good year because I'm gonna make it a good year. And so I don't know, I just had to say it. Even my sister, she was like, I have a good feeling about this year. And I'm like, I do too. My today, well, every day I'll work like a couple hours on my app. Today I went to Starbucks before work. And was like working on my app. And it's just like, I would have never done that, but it's just like, I have so much motivation this year, and the motivation is me. Like, I'm motivating myself to do these things, and it makes me so happy. And this is going to be a great year. This is going to be the year I get out of survival mode. I just know it. The first time in my life, this will be the year I won't be in survival mode. And I'm very happy about it. And, you know, me getting all these warnings about getting fired has really motivated me to do better at my job. And that's like such a new concept in my head. I have no idea like where that came from, but it's there. And so it's going to be a really good year. I know it. Not because before, you know, I cried couple of days because like my whole life I was like, I would watch this stuff on Instagram and I'd be like, it's gonna be a good year. But it was because like I was saying that because I was trying to like convince myself that you know, something's gonna happen, someone's gonna save me. And it's just like, this is my first time in my life. I'm like, no one's gonna save me. Like, I'm such a bitch. I'm so like uncaring and cold. No one's gonna save me. And so I gotta save myself. I've gotta rescue myself. And so I'm like really happy, and like I just know it's gonna be a good year because I'm gonna make it a good year. I'm taking steps right now that I've never taken in my life, and I'm 27, and I'm just so happy that I'm doing all of these changes in my 20s. Like, I'm gonna close 20s out like amazing. And like most people are, you know, going through these life changes when they're like 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, I'm like going through mental health issues, like working on everything. And I'm just happy and like, yeah, very happy. So I'm still in survival mode, but I'm pretty much on the like the end of survival mode. I can feel it. Like, I can feel it. Like, I just know it's like I'm at the end of it. So like I can lay in my bed and not feel stress and like feel actually safe in my bed. And I'm just like a couple days ago, like I didn't feel like that safety unless I was like under ketamine or it's like some like crazy circumstance. But yesterday I was like, I felt it in my bed, and like a couple days before I felt it too. And I'm just like, my body's never felt safety before because I've always been in survival mode and like it's shut down. But it's just like I'm nearing the end of survival mode. And like all these thoughts came in my head yesterday because like I'm like, I wonder why this is why I had to work through all this stuff and like, you know, work on humbling myself and like understanding my trauma and like how I want validation and all, I want to be seen and all that goes with my trauma and stuff like that. And how like I have to like fill myself up with myself, like ground myself and not use like regulate myself through others. And so before, if I would have got rich, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna call everyone and like, you know, be a snob and be like, you didn't do this for me and look, but you know, like all that stuff. But yesterday I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because I don't need them to know that I'm doing good to regulate myself. Like, I don't need to have, you know, I don't need that. Like, everything I need is inside myself. And so that was such a good thought. And like, I'm changing so much. And I'm just happy, and like I feel happiness more often, and yeah, so it's gonna be a good year. Not because all the other years I say it's gonna be a good year, because this year I'm gonna put the work in little by little, working little by little, and I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be a great year. And this year I will leave my survival mode. I'll close that chapter for good and just focus on healing more and doing better. And yeah, so I'm just happy because I know that, but it's like I've done 26 years of survival mode, depression, like shut down, like all that good stuff. And so like you know, 26 years is a lot, and like I'm ready for the next chapter. I'm ready. So I'm happy. All right. I'm not happy all the time. This is like, I feel happiness more and more. I'm working on being happy, but all right, bye.